Hello, welcome to Voice at Free. Now, today I have a message for someone. If you were a singer and you want to sing again, but you keep saying, "Oh, your voice is not the same," I'm going to ask you to just please sing. Create an opportunity. If you're in the church, ask to sing a solo, but start singing again. If you always wanted to join a choir, but you've had all these doubts, at least try and join. If you want to do karaoke, but you're worried about what other people will think, go out and do your karaoke. If you have someone who you want to sing a song to, someone who's not well and you would like to encourage them with their favorite song, just do it. And I'm in this summer mood because I know all too well that you don't know when you won't be able to use your voice again. And sometimes we're hung up on all these what ifs that may never come to pass. I'm in this mood because today I was searching for a song to sing at a funeral. But I'm going to go back to last year. In November, I sang at the funeral of my former headmistress, my primary school headmistress. She lived a long, accomplished life. So when I was asked to sing, as much as I really don't like singing at funerals at all, it was a definite yes. I knew her before I even entered primary school. I was still in nursery, and I used to have to go and wait on one of my siblings who was in her class, and she taught me how to write my first letters, to write the letter of the alphabet, and I was just in nursery. So I've never forgotten that. And she played the piano. She was a boss. She sang. The only time I've ever seen her the tune in folk was when she brought one to school to demonstrate. She was the first to teach me do re mi's. I mean, all of us in the school. She would in assembly. She would be doing little vocal stuff for us. And she was over the church choir. She played in their church. They had an organ. And she was well accomplished, well known, well loved. So when I normally prayed, what song do I sing? What came to my mind was "All My Life You Have Been Faithful" by CeCe Winans. Perfect match because she lived an accomplished life. In December, my father suddenly passed. And I remember going home that night from the hospital, like one thought that kept running through my mind: I will never hear his voice again. I will never hear his voice again. And I thought of this. I thought he liked to sing. He wasn't the best. He loved country and western, and I mainly heard him singing in the shower loudly when we were children, or singing some country and western song. He had a unique voice. And you know what? I would love to hear him sing again. But silence forever. So it did come to my mind to just encourage people, listen, if you have a desire to sing, sing. Let's go on. It got worse. The night my father passed, I was still at the hospital, trying to figure out how to contact family, deal with this, deal with that. And I got a call from a friend. Now we have this type of friendship where we don't see each other very regularly, but once we link up, it's like we're always best friends or something. And she called, and I cannot tell you what she said. I do not remember what she said. But when I hung up, I remember feeling more calm. I had more confidence, and I just went forward, did what I had to do. 1 week later, I stepped into a bakery to get some fresh bread, and I noticed it was speaking about a sudden death that happened that morning. And somehow I really was not listening because I still was in the throes of my whole, losing my father. But I picked up that I knew the person. And I turned and asked one of the ladies, who? It was that same friend. 1 week later, I remember just losing strength in my legs. She was 1 year younger than I am. And I tend to get very sensitive when persons, to me, they younger than me, to they haven't lived enough yet. And we are both in our late 40s, but still, she was younger than me. After that, I really started thinking, I want to hear her voice again. I want to hear her voice again. I want to hear her voice again. And so many times we have all these hang-ups and all these things that we allow to cross our way, all insecurities, and the thing we want to do. That the thought that come to my mind when I thought about my father and that friend. No, tell everybody you meet. Listen, if you want to sing, just sing. Stop being so hung up on perfection. There's some people I know. I've had persons come to me and they convinced that they cannot sing because of something someone else told them or because they don't sound like someone else. And when I start working with them, first thing I'm telling you, first, you have a great foundation. You can sing, and you need that. You need to shift your mindset. Many times it's just a lack of confidence. The voice is already there. So of course I could teach them some vocal skills to if they want to go a higher note or they want to sing lower and sultry. We can do that. There's one who told me that she was off pitch, and we had our discussion about what type of off pitch. I have a video about that. But again, once I dealt with her confidence, we were able to sort that out. And I know they can be challenging cases, but I'm saying for me, a lot of persons I've seen, they could sing. It was about not believing in themselves or waiting for someone else to validate them. But let me validate you today. Most likely, if you picked up this video because you want to learn vocal training, and you probably can't sing already, please just sing. One person I know had an awesome voice, and she was saying, "Oh, she hasn't sung so long, so she can't hit high note." Believe me, she has an awesome voice. And as I told her, all you need to do is start singing again. That's all she needed. Confidence, the comparison. She wanted to sing. So if that's you today, please, you never know when you'll be silenced forever. Use your voice. Set it free. Sing. I'm not even here to talk about my services today. I remember as I tried to get ready for this video, because it's like I've been staying offline. I've been really low key, and I was really, not feeling myself when I was searching for a song today. And the thought came back to my mind, no, you need to tell those who listen to you, just sing. Use your voice. Don't wait until it's too late. And then came the thought, but if someone needs help, please offer. I've not been taking any students. I've not. But what I would do is at least put my links in the description. If you get me, then you get me. But the important thing is just sing. And I would dare say, from my experience, there was a year that I literally said I wasn't going to sing again. I don't know. Life was just lifing, including having a dream where there was a python wrapped around my throat. And believe me, this weird thing was happening. When I had that, at that point, it was my second. This is many, many moons ago, years ago. After I had my second, I found when I was a soloist in the church and a song leader, a worship leader. Whenever I tried to sing a solo, when you're worshiping, you could pause, you could, catch your breath. But whenever I went to sing a solo, I would end up practicing. I have to keep my voice a certain level because I would get in this excruciating pain in my side. And then other dramas start happening. And ironically, I was at a funeral and someone approached me and they were saying they had a word for me. Now, back then, it's like, I would just listen, but and they told me that, they don't know what I'm going through, but they sense that a lot is happening in my life. And they want me to know that it's because of my voice. But I need to keep singing. And I remember thinking, oh no, with all that I had gone through up to that point, I was not going to sing again. Later that year, I was in my prayer time. If you know me, I believe in spending time with God in the mornings. And I would pray, I would sing, I would listen, I would read my Bible. And I had a thought. prepare your voice. You're going to sing an important song. And I got angry. Because at that point, I wasn't complaining. I was just, things were happening. I was forgiving. I didn't understand what was happening with the pain in my side. I wasn't complaining. But at that point, I don't know, I broke. Like, God, you need to. I think God is my Heavenly Father, so I speak to Him, my Father, respectfully. But I think it was a week later, I was approached by someone and asked, how is your voice? We need you to sing at a certain event a couple months down the line. I'm like, I never told anybody that my voice was giving me issues. At that point, even when I was singing, it was like getting weaker and weaker. I mean, because of the adjustment, my throat was starting to hurt sometimes and so forth. Anyway, I had a thought of singing a very specific song that I knew from my childhood. Because it's a local thing, I wanted to do a patriotic song. And I'd only heard this in my childhood. But when I approached the writer of that song, he said, you know what? I don't have the original verse, but I wrote it over again. He gave me the new song and said, oh, it's going to be the same tune. Well, we had to change the arrangement. But the thing that happened, somebody I highly respected, and I have an issue with long songs. And when I looked at the paper he gave me, I'm like, this is long. It just came up. It's like, you don't have to sing all of the verses, do what you want to do. It's up to you. But when I went to practice that song, I just kept getting the pain. It came to the point that I think it was psychological because I would finish doing all I had to do and I would step into the room that I normally practice and my side would start hurting. But it came to the point where I would sit with a song and I would read through the words line by line, verse by verse, and I would be asking myself questions. What do I think the writer is trying to say? What is the message here? And how can it be brought forward so people could hear the true, what I think is the true message, my interpretation? And when I got to the third verse, it was so powerful. I'm like, I have to sing this song. I have to sing the whole song. This song needs to be heard. What am I going to do? I'm having all this pain. And I prayed, of course, and I got a thought. Go and find vocal coaching online. I kid you not. That's when I first knew that there were vocal coaches online. And I joined a program, and the first thing they did was breath work. That's why I'm so into breathing exercises. Within a week, because I was doing it every evening, within a week, that pain had stopped, gone, and my voice had already started changing. I was a strong singer before, and I knew a bit of vocal stuff. I would do my do-re-mis and stuff before, but the breathing exercises took it to a new level. I never understood what happened until many, many years later. I was working on my postgrad, and I was looking for some research articles, and one popped up that had to do with when the diaphragm of pregnant ladies, when they have cesarean, sometimes it does not go back to its position, and that could cause pain on breathing. I read like that was I was doing a postgrad in something else. When I saw that, I tell you, I'm like, Eureka! I had a cesarean, and I never knew that could affect my voice, and that's why the breathing exercises put everything right back where they needed to be, right back in place, and resolve the issue. And I sang that song. I sang it with power that year before when I had gotten started. About 2 years later, they had a competition for my country's territorial song. I was asked by the writer. He said he would only submit it if I sing the song. Long story short, when the day came to record, I was in early stages of my third pregnancy, and I was having issues, and I wanted to just protect my little one. I had no desire to be singing, but I kept my word, and the song won. And today it is the territorial song of my country. Now we say territorial song; it's an official song because our national anthem is actually God Save the King. We are British, so we are overseas territory. But all that to say, when I sang it the first time, I had normally I set my intentions, and one of them that people in the audience would suddenly be inspired to be creative. And there were people who came to me after and said, listen, I felt that. I got chills. The words, I feel led. I knew there were at least two persons who were actual writers. I feel led to write and to create new songs. Little did I know. And that, little did I know. Coming from, I'm not going to sing again. Could have silenced my voice before its time. Is that you? Most time the warfare is because you are a powerful messenger, not just a good singer. The way you bring forward, how you carry the message of a song is what someone in your audience really need to connect and to change their life, to be inspired. Please sing before your voice is silenced forever. I have to go back and search for a modern song. This is a tough one. Honestly, it is. It is, but it stirred me on to finally make this video. Yes, I'll be back with other vocal coaching. I need to be reminded myself, listen, put it out there and help someone else. Because I shut down everything, I do have spots available, but that's not what I'm looking for in this. I'm just hoping to inspire you to sing. Sing again. Use your voice. Set it free. Use it while you can. Don't wait for other people to validate you. I'm pretty sure you sound good. Use your voice and sing. And that's all I have to say today. I do hope you take this little bit of advice that I'm giving, or you can leave it alone. But either way, I've done my part. Thanks for listening. Bye.